So, a recently leaked video had Deion Sanders talking to the current Raiders coach, Antonio Pierce. In the video, he said, quote, "You are truly the best. Now I just need you to do one thing. I need you to draft those Sanders boys." End quote. Now, if you're a Raiders fan, I would be pretty hyped up for this. I know a lot of people have their opinion on Shedeur Sanders. I know it's pretty mixed at this point in time right now. But I don't know, man. From going to AOC and Gardner Minshew to Shedeur Sanders, hey, even if you don't think he's going to be great, he's going to add a lot of excitement and fire and passion to that franchise. And, this is kind of surprising to me, honestly, because Deion said right before this college season started that his son is going to pull an Eli Manning, essentially meaning that he is going to hold out if he is drafted by specific teams. So this video obviously indicates that he's cool with the Raiders drafting Shedeur Sanders, and yeah, man, I'm just kind of shocked by that, just with the amount of success the Raiders have had the past 20 years in the NFL and the amount of dysfunction that organization has really been operating at the past 20 years. But hey, man, if you're a Raiders fan, I would be pretty hyped up right now, man. Good things are coming. The tide is turning. I don't know if Tom Brady and Deion Sanders have a good relationship, but I'm telling you that Tom Brady ownership fiasco is definitely a good thing for the Raiders moving forward. Telling you Tom is cool with a lot of people. It's a lot like politics. I really feel like his endorsement there, his ownership there is just a green flag to a lot of potential suitors that actually want to come to Vegas. So it's a win-win for everybody involved. Now, Shedeur is probably going to go top 5. I know the Giants are interested in him. The GM of the Giants recently went out to watch him play in Colorado. And obviously, the Raiders are going to be heavily interested in a quarterback as well. Both are top 5 picks projected right now. And yeah, man, if I'm a Raiders fan, I'm praying, I'm crossing my fingers, doing whatever I got to do to get Shedeur on the Raiders. That would be a lot of fun, man. I think that would be a lot of fun. Now, speaking of Antonio Pierce and just him going forward, I highly doubt that he will be the head coach for the Raiders a year from now. So I don't really know what that has to do with the recent video that leaked. I don't know if Deion will be cool or have the approval of the new head coach, but we'll have to find out. There's a lot of good candidates, and I think Mike Vrabel, again, is another good name to throw out there. The Raiders need some grit. They need some culture. They need a culture reset. Mike Vrabel has a good relationship with Tom Brady, so that's just a good hire in my opinion. Also, it was reported about a month ago when the Brady ownership was finalized that Tom Brady had interest in bringing Bill Belichick as the head coach of the Raiders. I don't really like that just because of the dynamic of Brady and Belichick. I think that would be kind of weird, and I feel like it would just cause a lot of conflict within the organization. And not only that, Bill, I think, is still a pretty good head coach. It's just he doesn't really fit in the timeline with his team. It's really a bare bones, ground zero, rebuild of all rebuilds type of franchise, type of team. And if you're going to hire a guy, I feel like from the Raiders' perspective, you want a long-term guy. You want like a 10-year contract sort of guy. You want a guy like Dan Campbell, man. You just want a guy to really just turn things around, and turning things around, starting from scratch, it takes time. When Dan Campbell first went to the Lions, his first couple of years were pretty choppy, man. Pretty choppy. Now they're the best team in the NFL and are the number 1 favorite to make it to the Super Bowl in their first time in team history. So anything is possible, and I feel like this team, this franchise can turn it around. I do believe in them. I think it will happen, but I just think you really have to nail this head coaching hire. You really have to nail this top 3 draft pick as well. The Giants are ahead of them right now, so again, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of games still left to be played in the regular season. We'll see how it all plays out once the year is concluded and what the official draft order is. So a lot of time to wait and see. But you guys let me know if you like Shedeur Sanders to the Las Vegas Raiders, or would you rather him on the Giants or another team? You let me know in the comments below. And do you think Antonio Pierce will be back for the Raiders in the 2025 season? And if you don't think he's back, who do you think they should hire? Curious about your opinion. And speaking of the draft order, the Giants almost won that Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys. Drew Lock looked pretty decent compared to DeVito, and I feel like if they keep Drew Lock in there, they could win a few games down the stretch. And I know Giants fans are really hoping for them to just tank for the rest of the year, but NFL players don't tank, man. The reality of the situation, they don't really care about getting potentially a better draft pick, because most of the guys on the team right now are probably not going to be on the same team for the following year. So tanking, no matter what the team's record is, they're going to go out there and they're going to play hard until the final game. And this upcoming Sunday, they're at home against the New Orleans Saints, a very, very winnable game, especially if Drew Lock gets the nod, which I'm pretty sure he is. After that, Ravens, that's a loss. And then after that, at Atlanta, winnable game, man, especially if Michael Penix is in the fold or even if Kirk Cousins is there. Atlanta has not looked good, and I don't know. I think that's definitely potential for a big upset. Plus, Atlanta is going to be fighting for a playoff spot, so all the pressure is on them. Definitely a winnable spot there. After home against the Colts, and then they finish off the year in Philly. So the point I'm trying to make is the Giants have potential to win some games, and if you're a Raiders fan, you definitely got to be hoping they do. Now, for the Raiders' remaining schedule, this Sunday they're playing the Buccaneers. Tough game. I don't really see them winning that game. After that, home against Atlanta. Maybe, that could be Michael Penix's first start. You never know. That could be a dub. Hard to say. Home against the Jaguars after that. At the Saints. And then to finish off the year, home against the Chargers. So, Jags, Saints, Falcons, I feel like those are winnable games for the Raiders, and we'll have to see how it all plays out, man. I'm really curious to see who gets the top draft pick in this year's NFL draft, and I really am going to be fascinated to watch Shedeur Sanders all throughout Combine, pre-draft, and all that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely a very controversial draft pick, controversial player, but we'll have to wait and find out. You let me know who you think is going to finish with the worst record, Giants or the Raiders. If you made this far, please subscribe. How about your boy a ton? That's all I got for right now. Peace.